So, it's October 23rd, 2020. Shall we talk about this week's movie news? Roll the titles. Hi guys, it is Mr. Scotty Pie and I am back for another video. As I said in the intro, this is the movie news for October 23rd, 2020. A lot has happened this week. We got postponements, new shows and films, and other news. No cancellations this week. So, if you do enjoy this video, please do go and hit that like button. And if you also want to see more of these videos, I drop movie news every single Friday. I also do trailer reactions, movie reviews, and sometimes just general movie talk. If that does sound like your sort of thing, also go down and hit that subscribe button. So, without further ado, let's jump into postponements. So, the first postponement, or the only postponement we've had this week, is the announced that Candyman, which was supposed to be released around about now actually. It was meant to be a Halloween release, so it would be about this week or next week's release. Then got pushed back till spring next year. Has now said they're going to take on another postponement. Obviously, because a lot of films are being announced for spring. Lots of Marvel films. I think 2 Marvel films are coming out before the summer next year. Bond and Dune, I think, is also jumping as well to about that time. Or they're taking a year. I think that's a year. Ignore that. So there's quite a lot of films coming out in spring. So they're going to come out in August next year for Candyman. Is a film I do think looks really good. I'm not a big horror fan, but I do quite like the look of Candyman. I did enjoy the original, so this is a film I will be watching. So I am looking forward to that coming out, obviously now in August next year. I'm a bit shocked they didn't come in October next year, but I'm pretty sure there's a few horror films being slated for that time. So I'm guessing they're just trying to miss that market completely. Let's try that not happen again. So that's all we have for postponements. As I said, no cancellations. So let's jump into new films and new shows. So the ridiculously popular West End play, not a production I've seen myself, but one of her great things about. There's Something About Jamie is getting a theatrical release. This is going to be released on the 26th of February 2021. As I said, I've not seen this, so I'm not too familiar with the premise of this. I am a big theatre fan, and I have heard fantastic things about this, so it is something that has been on my radar, definitely. So I am looking forward to this film. I do hope when things start to open, I can see this on the stage, but if that can't happen, then I look forward to seeing the film. If you do know kind of what to expect on this and a bit of the premise, do let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. Next, we have the next DC film to be slated, obviously apart from all the ones we've announced. The newest announcement is DC's Static Shock. This isn't something I'm too familiar with. I'm more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy, so if you can educate me about Static Shock, that'd be fantastic. Let me know in the comments what I should know about that, or if there's any comics I should be reading and to learn about this character or this story, do let me know. It has been announced that Static Shock is going to be produced by Mr. Michael B. Jordan. It's not announced if he's going to take any acting roles within this, or he's just going to be producing it. I'm not sure, but all we know now, it is produced by Michael B. Jordan. It's also been announced that there's going to be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a new one of these. I'm assuming this is going to be a reboot of the franchise. Obviously, this will be the 3rd reboot of the franchise. Originally out in the 70s, I believe, and then early 2000s, and then again now. I have seen the 2000s Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I did enjoy. So this is one I'll probably keep an eye out for. as I'm not a big horror fan, so I'm not sure if I'm going to see it yet, but I'll keep an eye out for the trailers for sure. This is going to be slated for a 2021 release. So when I was talking about why Candyman might not jump in the October release date, I'm thinking about maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween, I think, might be jumping to October as well. So that's 2 horror films which might take the October release date, which shows why Candyman might not jump into that position. A new film by the director David O. Russell, who his last project was Joy, the Oscar-winning film starring Jennifer Lawrence and forgot his name completely. Bradley. And this film, which has not yet been named, has announced its cast as John David Washington, obviously from the Black Klansman and Tenet fame. Margot Robbie, obviously Wolf of Wall Street and Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad. And Christian Bale, the Dark Knight trilogy. So it's a fantastic cast. Obviously nothing's been announced what it's going to be about or what it's called or anything, but a fantastic director, an incredible cast. This is obviously going to be a great film, so one to look out for there. There's a new comedy film coming out about 2 people that get stranded on an island together. It used to be starring Harrison Ford and Ed Helms, and this film is going to be called The Miserable Adventures of Bert Squire. Obviously this could be quite funny. I'm not too sure on Harrison Ford's comedy credentials. I've recently done a lot more. He's not really acts that often, but when he does his more serious roles. So I'm intrigued to see that. Obviously Ed Helms is a fantastic comedy actor, so I'm assuming will carry that position in the film. While I'm assuming Harrison Ford will be the miserable Bert Squire, which will make more sense. Jake Gyllenhaal has announced that he's going to be starring in an adaptation of Joe Nesbo's The Son. Obviously, Joe Nesbo is a crime mystery author. So obviously it'll be one of those kind of things. Now, this is for HBO. This will be a TV series or a limited series or something like that. I'm not entirely sure 100%. But Jake Gyllenhaal is an incredible actor. Joe Nesbo is obviously such a famed author that I'm sure this will be a great project. Something for your fantasy fans. Willow is getting a I'm not sure, it's not a reboot. It's coming out I'm not sure what this is going to be. I think it might be picking up from where the film left off. I think that might be what it's going to be. Obviously Willow, the film with Val Kilmer and Warwick Davis, directed by Terry Gilliam. It's going to get a new version of this for Disney Plus. I believe this is a TV series. It's been announced that Ron Howard is going to executive produce, and Warwick Davis will be reprising his role as Willow. I don't believe there's no release dates or much information about this yet, except for what I've just said. Jamie Foxx has been announced that he's going to be playing a new role in a film called Day Shift, where he will play a vampire hunter. Obviously, we've had a few of those films, like Blade and was it the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which was an odd film. If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a bit of good fun. Never rewatched it after I saw it at cinema, so I don't need to. But yeah, that's one to look forward to if you're a Jamie Foxx fan or a Vampire Hunter fan. Legally Blonde 3 is in the works. Obviously, 2 super successful films from about 20 years ago. They decided to make another film. Is going to be a cash grab, or is this actually going to be a legitimately made great film? I'm not sure. I've only seen the first one, I believe, which I did really enjoy. I don't think I ever got round to watching the second one. But I did really enjoy the first one, so this is something that I will keep an eye out for. This is going to get a 2022 release. No specific month or day on that, just 2020. And Reese Witherspoon will be reprising her role as Elle Woods. So if you're a fan of those films, do look out for that. And finally, with new shows and films, Smokey and the Bandit is getting a reprisal and a reboot for TV this time. Nothing's been announced to the cast or release date or anything like that, but obviously this was such a successful film franchise that I'm sure this is going to be another hit as well. Might not be, there's been flops of that, so I'm assuming and hoping for a hit, let's just say that. So that was it for new shows and new movies. So let's jump into other news. So with just general other news, Tatiana Maslany, I had to look down there because I didn't want to get her name wrong, who I initially announced on a previous episode of Movie News will be taking up the role as She-Hulk in the Disney Plus TV show, has confirmed herself that this might not be true. Is she trying to throw people off the scent, or is this in fact not true? We're not sure. I personally would take it as it's not true. I can't see why, if this is being so heavily rumoured, why she would shy away from that. Surely she's doing the opposite and trying to build up hype for this show. So my thought is she will not be playing the savage She-Hulk. I am looking forward to the She-Hulk show, so I do hope there is movement in that show sooner rather than later. Work has now started on the Taika Waititi Star Wars movie. There's no information about what this movie is where it's going to be set in the Star Wars universe. If it's going to be pre-something, after something, or what character's going to follow. If new characters completely, we don't know. But Taika Waititi's in it, making it, and it's Star Wars. I'm in. One of my favourite current directors, and obviously Star Wars. Love Star Wars. Star Trek Discovery is getting, which the third series has just come out this week or last week. I haven't jumped into it yet. I love Star Trek Discovery, as you can see. But I haven't had a chance to jump into the new series yet, but I am very much looking forward to. And they've announced that they've already commissioned a season 4 of Star Trek Discovery. So that's fantastic for us Star Trek fans who are obviously loving Discovery. If you haven't jumped into Discovery yet, just jump into the first series. You don't need to know the lore of Star Trek at all. You can just jump into Star Trek Discovery fresh. And I promise, if you're a Star Trek fan or a sci-fi fan or anything, you will love this series. Dominic West has been confirmed that they're being eyed up for the role of Prince Charles in The Crown Season 5 and Season 6. I initially believed that Season 5 was going to be the final series, but by this news headline I read, it sounds like there might be a 6th as well. Dominic West is a fantastic actor. I think he's deeply underrated. So obviously you'll know him from like The Wire and various different films and TV shows over the last 20 odd years. Obviously him playing Prince Charles, I think that's a great casting. I can definitely see that. I really do hope that comes through. Obviously The Crown is such an amazing series, one I really enjoy, so I do hope to see that happen. Fast and the Furious, which we are still waiting for the 9th film to come out, which was supposed to have been out in the summer, but obviously due to the pandemic, it's been pushed back until spring next year, has finally said they're going to end the franchise after the 11th Fast and Furious film. I initially heard a few years ago that they were going to finish it on the 10th, and I studied number 10, but obviously now they're going to do an 11th as well. Are they going to completely end this franchise and no more Fast and Furious films after that? I don't believe that's the case. Each Fast and Furious film at the moment is making about $1 billion in the box office. So why would they kill that franchise off? I think if they're still going strong at about the 11th, I think we'll have more spin-offs, maybe some more Hobbs and Shaw films. Who knows? All I know is I love Fast and Furious films. I think they're such good fun. I would always buy a ticket for a Fast and Furious film, because you know you're going to sit back, enjoy, and watch something completely stupid and put a massive smile on your face and have such a good time with. And finally, to end off this week's episode and to end off other news, Jared Leto has been confirmed that he's going to be reprising his role as the Joker for Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. Obviously, I'm very excited for the Justice League Snyder cut. I actually really enjoyed the initial theatrical cut of Justice League. I think it's a really good film. So I'm really excited to see the intended 4-hour version of Justice League. I'm really pumped to see that. The only thing letting down for me is Jared Leto's coming back as Joker. I really didn't enjoy his Joker. I'm one of those people. I thought he did a really poor job in the role. So I'm really not excited for that. I'm hoping maybe, obviously it was in Suicide Squad and that was just much of a letdown film anyway for me. So maybe it was just a film that put me off him. So hopefully with the chance to grow in this film and show maybe a new side of that character, he will really excel and show me something else that will bring me back into his role as the Joker. Otherwise, it could be a big letdown of the film for me personally. But we will see when that's released next year. So that's all I have for you this week for movie news. I do hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, please go and hit that like button below. If I did miss anything or anything you want to talk about, please do drop it in the description below. I do respond to all comments. Let's do start a conversation down there. And if you want to see more of this, I release movie news every single Friday. I also do trailer reactions, movie reviews, and general movie talk. If that does sound like your sort of thing, please do go and hit that subscribe button down below. It would mean the absolute world to me if you did. I do hope you have a good day and a good week if you only come back for these videos once a week. I am Mr. Scotty Pie, and I am out of here.